The original origin was for fun. In school, a couple of us were playing around with making whistles, and we said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we could make like little steam engine type thing and get these whistles to whistle all at once.
Whistleworks was such a natural thing for Greg to do. Of course, you all know he's a ceramic artist, and in addition to that, he can build anything. He's kind of like the mad scientist of constructing things and welding and the like.
Because it's such low pressure steam, I'm trying to make this manifold so that we distribute the steam evenly to all the whistles. So we start out in a kind of a flat and then branch off into all the other, where the whistles are going to be on the ends of all these things.
Greg has way too much free time on his hands.
Thanks, Greg.
This guy's frickin' MacGyver. He can fix anything with anything. So this project was perfectly suited for him from a number of angles.
Greg's day job is essentially being the operations manager for SOFA, the Sculpture, Objects, and Functional Art show that takes place in Chicago and in New York. And he makes sure the whole thing comes together. He makes sure that the construction gets there, that the art gets there. He relates to the artists and to the gallery owners.
Whistleworks it's not meant to be a super meaningful piece of art other than that it's interactive and that it's fun and people enjoy being part of it. I have been a sculptor, traditionally a ceramic sculptor, but some of that gets rather uptight. This is a fun interactive thing that can draw a lot of people into it. It's not selfish.
We have a rich legacy of beach parties in Michigan, and we're always outdoing ourselves one way or the other, and we've burned boats, we've created sculpture, you name it. And to try something a little bit different one year, Greg decided that he was going to put together this steam whistle. And so a number of us went into a studio the night before the party and created these whistles and fired them and put them on the steam whistle on the beach. It was really quite a spectacular event.
The whistle is a cool thing to watch by itself, but we felt it needed a little more interactivity, so we came up with the drum circle idea. And what happens then is the whistle produces a single note, basically, that goes on and on. The drum circle is actually what changes. The rhythms constantly change while the whistle is going.
When we fire up the whistle, we get the fire tray filled with wood and get a good bonfire going underneath the tank, where the water quickly starts to reach a boiling point and the steam comes out through the stems, through the whistles, creating the musical notes. That's when the drums would come in. We would have Blake kind of lead off the drummers and kind of guide the drumming.
Blake is great at making homemade percussive instruments. He would take jars full of beans and it would turn into a shaker, or screws in a can, and you could shake that and it would make percussion. We had all kinds of weird little instruments. We had garbage cans, we had shakers, we had bongos, we had all kinds of things that went click and bang and boom.
Well, what made the Whistleworks great for Burning Man was that it really adopted a number of different attributes in a really good art piece. For one, it was interactive with the citizens of Black Rock because they could come to the studio, make a whistle, have their own craftsmanship on the whistle itself. Gave other people an opportunity to drum along with the actual performance.
You're bringing people together to make, to become part of this artwork. You're actually having them make parts of the artwork. With a drum circle performance, the people in the community are invited in to be part of that. Everybody's part of it. Plus, it's on fire half the time, so it kind of embodies the whole spirit of Burning Man.
Burning Man is a festival of radical self-expression. It's the great equalizer.
It's in a remote location about 90 miles outside of Reno on a dry lake bed and some high desert in Nevada.
It takes place out on the playa, which looks like, for all intents and purposes, the moon. And nowadays, you really have to go to the moon to be able to express yourself freely.
It's a very remote environment, and what makes it unique is people work very hard to not only get their artwork out there, but under extreme circumstances. So people have a lot of fun, but they also take it serious from the level of work that's involved, so you really weed out the weak quickly. Burning Man has grown quite a bit in the last several years, to the point that now it's not just a festival, but it's actually a community, it's a city. It's the 4th largest city in Nevada during the week that it's set up. There are radio stations, there's a daily newspaper, there are volunteer rangers, and all sorts of people participating in volunteering for the community itself. What really makes it unique is that everyone's a participant. Everyone's making art, everyone's engaged somehow. The other thing that makes it particularly interesting is that the economy is based off of gifting. There is no money, there is no barter. The only place you can spend currency would be to get coffee or ice, but other than that, it's about sharing and giving, which creates a whole new level playing field for people that come out there. Rich or poor, we're all dusty, we're all trying to survive. Burning Chicagoans are a group of friends in Chicago that have been building theme camps and art for the last 3 or 4 years at Burning Man. 98, Pat and Debbie went for the first year. 99, Cindy Bark and myself joined them, and in 2000 we said, let's pull together and do a theme camp ourselves.
So it was a collaborative group of incredibly talented people who you would think had more time than common sense because of the projects they took on. But actually it's this amazing group of individuals who are incredibly clever, who got together to first do Camp Zonation, which was the 5 census pyramids, and then Womb with a View, Camp Conception, and then most recently Whistleworks.
The ceramic studio is a 14 by 18 foot building that we actually put together on the playa, and it serves as our ceramic studio and also as a shelter in case we have dust storms.
Ceramic studio is essentially a big old box on the desert, and it's really terrific because it was incredibly sturdy. I don't know if for those who've been to Burning Man, you see that everything gets blown down.
Things blow over all the time, tents blow down. You need stuff to hide behind that's rigid.
Greg, of course, works for SOFA, and SOFA has a warehouse in Michigan that we use to fabricate the ceramic studio.
What we have done in the last couple of years is fabricated these panel walls. And one of the things about that wall system is it's very sturdy. So we opted to build the ceramic studio out of that panel system.
Greg has an interesting setup at the warehouse where we can knock out these panels very quickly. It's an assembly line process where we have a device that Greg built, a jig that we can actually build the panels on, and then after they are built, we paint them and decorate them.
A crew of 8 of us knocked out the whole studio, building it, assembling it, painting it, letting it dry, and collapsing it, bundling it, palletizing it, and staging it for shipping out to the desert. Did that in basically 1 weekend in about 2-day shift. It was amazing how quick that went. It was really incredible to see, this group of people come together, having never done this before, knocking these things out under Greg's direction. We just hauled ass on this thing.